Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Division 3 of the Zoom Racing League. I'm your host, Lee Hall, joined today by the wizard of Division 2. It's Ethan Patel. Ethan, how are you?
Doing great. Excited to see some action in France. Pretty nice track, really flowy and good for racing.
Absolutely. It's like the anti-Monaco, right? It's a breath of fresh air after last week.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks have been difficult for racing, so it's nice to get back on a more traditional style track where we could see some overtaking, and there's actually a lot of strategy to be had here as well.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see the tire strategies chosen by these drivers. Even though it's Division 3, a lot of eyes are on this race to see, what strategies are faster than others. The D2 and D1 drivers might be watching closely to see if there are any pointers they can take from these drivers. So let's get into the standings here. Well, we've got a second as the drivers are coming out of the pits. The driver standings pretty clear. We had another. It's really back-to-back dominant wins from Buzzgod in the Red Bull, and he now sits comfortably atop of the standings with 143 points. Right behind him is Axel Eyes with 99 points, but OG, Buzzgod's teammate in the Red Bull, is now right on his tail. Ethan, what do you think of these standings?
I mean, it's been a dominant season for Red Bull so far, Buzzgod, but also the drivers that have filled in for that second seat. OG obviously doing pretty good this season with 2 podiums under his belt, but also a reserve drive from I believe it was Spanini at the time. It's really helped Red Bull build that 100-point gap to Ferrari in D3.
Absolutely. You just mentioned the constructors, so we'll just highlight that really quickly for you as the drivers are going to start hot laps soon. 255 points for Red Bull, 152 for Ferrari in second place. It's really not much of a contest anymore. Obviously, it's not totally over, but you imagine that Red Bull are going to lock this down, that Buzzgod, if he keeps up the hard work, he's going to take the Drivers' Championship, but still a ways to go here. We're over halfway through the season after today, so it's not over, but Red Bull absolutely dominant to start out here in Division 3.
I will say this. You get a lot of points in this league, right? It's 35 points for a win, 36 with the fastest lap and a win. I mean, 2 races where you mess up, like if Red Bull DNFs, let's say both drivers the next 2 weeks, and Ferrari has 1-2s back to back, that they're right back in there. So the point system really makes it hard to keep a gap, but as long as you're consistently finishing, that's all that matters.
All right. Well, here we are. On board with Buzzgod. It's the first hot lap. Well, actually, there's an Alfa Romeo in front of him, but we're going to be on board with Buzzgod here as he starts his first flying lap. He's on the soft tires. Got a few drivers out on mediums. There's 3 of them. Most of them starting on the softs. It's Buzzgod through Sector 1 here. I imagine it'll be a purple time. He's taking this pretty well. But this is a track that you really want to use all the space available and maximize the width of the track that's available for you to capitalize on the available lap time here.
Unlike Monaco, there's so much runoff at this track. The curbs are also really flat, so it is easy to cut a few corners, especially the chicanes. That could lead to a lot of invalidated laps.
Absolutely, and Buzzgod is a purple sector 2. Obviously, he's only the second driver on a hot lap, so that's not a huge surprise, but he is getting a little bit closer to that Alfa Romeo in front of him. And Sargento, a 5-place grid penalty. There was a collision at some point with Mr. Goatmere. I don't know how that's happened. We'll look in a second, but it's a very decent lap starting off here for Buzzgod. You want to go out and set a banker initially because this is a hard track for tire wear, at least for the soft tires. And it seems like Buzzgod has done just that.
Yeah, Barney a reserve, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays with, I believe that was Sargento, right? Obviously Mercedes looking to fight back, because originally they had the constructors lead at the first race of the season with Siggy taking that win, but ever since then it's been all Red Bull.
Absolutely. Buzzgod's got the top time still with a 130.4. Kyle Desmond he was able to set a 130.7, so really not too far off. Cushy in the Ferrari, he's got a 130.9 in P3. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. And B-Bry is disqualified from the session for going the wrong way. And that, I believe, was the yellow flag.
Huge for that Williams team that's at the bottom of the constructors table. Like, they need points, and getting disqualified during a qualifying session is not gonna help you.
Yeah, that's not what you want. Well, it's Raz on the medium tires. He is the top medium tire runner. There aren't very many at the moment, but it's a 131.2, so we'll see if he can crack the top 10 and go with the obvious one-stop strategy, the medium hard, or if he's got something else in mind.
As a problem we saw in Monaco was during qualifying, there were a lot of laps being blocked. We can see on track here, because of the runoff, there's a lot of cars just going off track, letting people pass. So I think it was just a one-off thing. A lot of people were complaining, but can't do much at Monaco, especially when you're trying not to block someone, but you're also trying to get trail laps in.
Absolutely. Monaco, not the best track for it. France should be much better. There's plenty of space to get out of the way, and it's obviously a slightly longer track than Monaco. Nonetheless, we have a Haas that's gone off. See if any damage on Flosy. Doesn't appear that he had any damage.
Nux in P3 in the Haas, which is amazing, as they're currently 8th in the Constructors' Championship. This could prove huge for them. As Marino has actually gone fastest, he's had a rough season so far, drafted #1, high expectations, hasn't quite lived up to them, but he's currently provisional pole.
Absolutely. It's nicely done. We're on board with Sargento as he crossed the line at 131.3. So, pretty decent time from him. Meanwhile, it's OG coming around. Start of Sector 3. He's going to start a hot lap. He has yet to set a time. OG, he's done this several times. From what I've seen, he is not the best starter of qualifying, but he's a great racer. And if he can put in a decent time here, that'll relieve a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of myself last season. Not a great qualifier, not great over one lap pace, but a great racer. He's proven to have some major recovery drives here, and that's what's keeping him really far ahead in the standings.
Absolutely. We've got a poll in the chat. Can OG and BuzzGod pull off a double podium, or will it be a surprise podium winner? The safe bet lately has been double Red Bull podium, but we'll see. We need to see what OG's pace is here. He has yet to set a lap, and he's on a lap now. So we're going to find out. He's on the soft tires.
Now, we are talking about pole position here. That's all qualifying is for. However, this track is not a get pole position and you have a better chance at winning. This track requires way more strategy. That third sector takes a life out of your tires, and we could see potential 2 stops, and that could change a lot of team strategies.
Absolutely. It's a purple Sector 1 for OG. Meanwhile, off-screen, Marino went fastest again on the same set of tires. They must be in the 20% wear range after 3 quali laps. He's got a 130.2 on the board, but he's probably not wanting to start on those tires. Is Roberto, hopefully not in OG's way here, but he is giving him some dirty air. Not sure what's going on with Roberto. But this is not ideal for the Red Bull driver, I'll tell you that. I would not be pleased seeing him there right in front of me, although he's going to get a little strip sling, but he almost loses it there. And OG's going to cross the line only in P9, 131.2. After a purple Sector 1, he's got to be pretty frustrated at what happened there.
Yeah, that's difficult to drive around. I mean, now OG's this lap's invalidated. He's gonna have to slow down again. Come on.
Well, we've got Zaxmack right behind him. Here's a new driver. actually a friend of mine. He's on the medium tires. He set a soft run of 131.4. He doesn't have a ton of race experience, but he's a skilled gamer. We're going to see what he's got on the medium tires. OG well out of the way.
Let's see if he's made of some raw skill from his other gaming endeavors.
Absolutely, he misses that apex, and he almost spun it. But he's on the medium tires. And honestly, qualifying in P11 or P12 here is not the worst case if you don't have the full raw pace to match somebody like Buzzgod or Marino, who we've seen their one lap pace is pretty significant. It's closer to the D2 level for sure.
Buzzgod's definitely going to be looking to get back into this D2. They didn't see him much last season. I feel like he may have had a little bit of unluckiness or just wasn't having perfect racecraft, because this season he's really showed that he has D2 material. As Roberto goes fastest with a 131.
I guess he blocked OG for a reason. I mean, he had the lap time as Zaxmac crosses the line. I don't believe he improved. We'll go on board with Kyle Desmond. He is all over the place. He was up very slightly as he's crossing the line here, but he almost lost it. And he will improve by a 10th though, so that's P4 for the McLaren driver, 130.6 on the board. Ethan, where is Axelized? What is he doing?
He needs to show up. Ferrari needs to build that gap, and they can't be doing it from 18th place. So he needs to set a good lap here. He's actually invalidated this lap. So
I'm concerned that France is not this man's track.
Italians and French don't really mix, so I don't think Ferrari's gonna have a good day today.
That is unfortunate. You've got Cushy up there in P8. That might let him able to do something, but Axelized yet the only one who's not set a time here other than Bibrai, who disqualified himself by driving the wrong way. Can't do that, folks. So one way only. We'll see if Axelized comes around again. He is kind of pushing here, and that may be due to the fact that you've got just over 5 minutes remaining in the session.
So at around 6 minutes into the session, Red Bull have decided to actually send Buzzgod out. So he's on his out lap right now. It'll be interesting to see how much the track has gripped up for him, because he set that lap at the beginning of the.
We've got a driver out of the race as Axelized actually comes into the pits. It's Katanko in the Alfa Romeo. He has lost it at the start of Sector 2 into the wall.
Yeah, Katenko, formerly known as Tanner Desmond, I believe. Yeah, that is Tanner Desmond. He's going to be looking to make a few positions back from there, because he does not want to be at the bottom of the grid.
No, unfortunate. It's not. I won't say that it's easy to wreck here. It's not. There's a lot of room on the track. But these curbs can be pretty punishing if you hit them wrong. They can spin you. And there are a couple of walls here that are in somewhat close proximity, so it's not unheard of to DNF here, but most DNFs here, I imagine, will be the result of collisions with other vehicles and not with the walls.
Yeah, I believe that second sector chicane, I don't know what turn that is, but that turn, it could be a little dangerous because it's after the long straight, so you're trying to overtake with DRS, and you could completely just squeeze someone off. I've seen it a lot in practice sessions. I've done it to other people. I've been a victim of it, so that could definitely take some people out.
Absolutely. And Buzzgod's going to look to get pole back here. He's out here on his hot lap. Current lap time is a 130.4. That was his first lap, I believe. So a purple sector 1 put in, by the way. His line looks pretty good.
He should definitely break into the 129s here. The track has gripped up a lot since the beginning of the session.
Yeah, this is the time to go out and set your lap. You've got time for one more. All the drivers do if they go out now. One more good run. And it's Buzzgot up almost 5/10 through 2 sectors. So he is looking at provisional pole. Should he keep this pace going? A little wide there, but he's corrected.
Yeah, Buzzgot improving, but Marino is not. Marino is actually 5/10ths down, or 500ths up on his previous time, which would not cut it. He's gonna
Right.
want to recharge and save for a final push. Unless he could really gain some time through that third sector.
Absolutely. Buzzcot's going to cross the line. It's going to be pole position 129.7. That's a great time. I imagine he's pretty happy with that one.
Now we're on with Marino.
We are. He's 5/10 up, so he's
Yep,
coming
he's
around
actually
again.
Yep, he's actually turned off his ERS. You can see his red light flashing. He's gonna be recharging here. Gonna put in one final lap for his bid at pole position.
Roberto also on an hot lap. OG just started a hot lap, so this might get interesting here at the end with all the drivers trying to set times.
In the fight for pole position will get interesting. Buzzcod will have another go as he will make it to the final line. His tires will be a little worn, but I don't think that'll play too much of a factor.
Marino kind of missing the apex a little bit, but he recovered it pretty nicely. Interesting watching these drivers with different driving styles. Marino almost a 10th up. He's going to need to do a little bit better than that. But it's a good start here through Sector 1.
Yeah, Sector 1, there's not a lot of time to find personally, but it could all be found in Sector 2 and 3, especially with more grip. Sector 3 could almost gain so much time.
Absolutely. Marino, we see him almost invalidate there and hop over the curb very violently. He's 500ths improved and getting into the critical part of the track. Maybe he has some time to improve here based on his previous lap performance. But it's actually Nux, the second driver, to crack the 129s. It's a 129.9. And the Haas driver looking to secure a position on the front row. And it's Zach Smack.
As OG's rounding the final corner, it'll be interesting to see what time he could set. Gonna be a 130.7, so that's just OG again showing his one lap pace is not great. It'll be interesting to see what he could do during the race though.
Yeah, well, but P11 might not be the worst if he doesn't have the pace. Marino obviously not really improving. He's down to P6. Raz actually put in a better time. Zach Smack's retired. OG has retired. And it's
P11.
axleized. We missed it.
Pole position. He struck.
129.6. Where
So
did that come
Buzzcod-
from?
Buzzcod went into the pits thinking he was fine, and Axelize just out of nowhere puts his Ferrari on pole position.
Oh, I was worried this wasn't going to be interesting.
Now Roberto is on a lap. He's actually not. We'll see. He set a pretty fast time around his. Yep, he's actually lost 1/1000th of a second. So it'll be interesting to see if he could lose a few more tenths to get pole position for himself.
Yeah, he's not that far off, but he'll need to do better. We're on board. Oh, he's invalidated.
He's actually invalidated. At the chicane that I said, you could invalidate a lot of laps there.
Absolutely. I think that's going to be it, folks.
Yep, no one's really gaining any time here, so it's going to get Axelize taking pole position, striking first on the Red Bulls, looking to close in that gap in the Constructors' title.
I'm
And
just
so
on
we-
board with Flosi. I don't think this is
Yeah,
really...
he's not. But at 1-2, we have Ferrari, Red Bull, but then at 11 and 12, we have Red Bull, then Ferrari. So
been-
it'll be interesting.
yeah, I was going to say exactly what you were about to say. And this has been the case throughout the season, actually, where OG and Cushy have a battle, and Axelized and Buzzgot have a battle. It's really interesting how that's unfolded.
Yeah, I believe Cushy got a podium last week at Monaco which one of the most difficult podiums to get, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. No, he did not get a podium. He got fourth place, which is still really good. It's gonna be interesting to see how he can carry that momentum.
Yeah, it was a great drive from him on a season he's probably been a little bit disappointed in. But a great drive in Monaco of all places. So hopefully some momentum for Cushy to carry into this race. And obviously
Now,
momentum from OG as well. So should be interesting.
now someone we have not talked about all session, the man that won the first race of the season, Ziggy. He is in P17 right now. He's going to be looking for a major comeback drive. He wants to keep P4 in the standings.
Absolutely. So the Sargento, by the way, a 5 grid place penalty in the Mercedes. His teammate is then thusly just going to bump up above him. So he'll be starting in P16. But yeah, a lot of work to do for Mercedes here. Not a bad team, but they've had their struggles at times.
Bad start to the weekend for them. It'll be interesting to see how they could go through the race. It's all to play for, especially with strategy. Everything could change. We could see Axel Eyes finishing P20. We could see B-Bry finishing P1.
Can we see B-Bry finishing P1?
This is a little stretch, but anything can happen.
You're
Crazy
right.
things have happened.
Anything could happen. That's true. We'll see. But I'm excited. I was concerned that we would not have had much of a challenge, but instead, here we are with Axel Eyes putting up a phenomenal lap to get pole position. And
Yeah,
obviously, Buzzgod wants to continue his winning ways, but we'll see.
We were pretty sure Buzzgod was getting pole. We didn't even say he was on provisional pole. We were saying he was on pole, but Axel Eyes was like, nah, I'm going to take that from him.
Yeah, it's not often you see a driver have one lap set only one time in an entire short qualifying session of 18 minutes, and that time be pole. But that was what happened here tonight. But the big question is, can Axel Eyes turn that into big points for himself and Ferrari? He has been unable to capitalize in some advantageous positions due to, honestly, you'd have to, candidly, self-inflicted mistakes. The little bit of inconsistency, unforced errors. But, when he's on his game, he's the top driver in this division. He just needs to be on his game.
Yeah, as much as I would love to see Red Bull's downfall, I feel like Buzzgod's the more complete racer. Axel Eyes, yeah, as you said, made a lot of mistakes that's proven costly. So if he can stay away from those and keep pace with Buzzgod, it could be a great fight. But if he makes those mistakes, it's just going to be a great day for Red Bull and not a great one for Ferrari.
And a quick note here, Labib has joined the session and he is on the grid. Hopefully he has no connection problems. Obviously was not in the qualifying session. He will start in 20th. But we do have 20 racers here today, so that's good. The AlphaTauri driver starting from the back. Meanwhile, Axel Eyes has pulled a nice gap here. Hopefully he recognizes that they're not racing yet. It's just the formation lap. If you're just joining us, welcome. This is Lee Hall. I'm with Ethan Patel. It's the Zoom Racing League of Division 3. You've joined at the perfect time because this race is about to start. 27 laps on France, and it's going to be good. It's Red Bull versus Ferrari.
So from P1 to 10 have started on the soft tires that they use in qualifying. Cushy in P12 actually decided to start on the hard tires. That's going to be interesting. I've not seen many people run the hards around France. I'd imagine it's going to be difficult. I think he's going to try for a one-stop, so it's going to be interesting to see how that works.
Absolutely. That's got to be... obviously, if you're starting on hards, it's very clear that you're doing a one-stop. Yeah. No surprise that the latter half of the field are all starting on the harder compound tires with the mediums. Except for Cushy, of course, so we'll see what kind of strategies they mix it up with if they go for a two-stop or a one-stop themselves.
As Axel Eyes has left the session...
Oh, no.
Gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Well, that's a disaster. Hopefully... he's able to reconnect in a matter of seconds. Because if not, I think it's going to be an easy overtake for Buzzgod to start the race, and probably Nux as well. Oh,
As
there
we
goes Labib.
see Labib going for another formation life. He must have missed it, actually. He forgot to get into his car. It happens to the best of us.
You know,
Grip Israel can relate.
Having a great time out there, but I don't think he realizes, you know, you're really not supposed to keep going. You're supposed to stop and form up with the grid, but, you know, he's just out there, loves driving.
He just wants to show off that beautiful AlphaTauri livery to
Might
the
have fuel
world of
problems
Brink.
later, though, to be honest. That's not what you want to do. You only have a set amount of fuel in these cars. So to take
that
this around
unreal-
again is not ideal, especially on this tire wear as well. He's on the mediums, but come on. And the rest of it, they're all just waiting for Labib.
He's just tactically cooling down everyone else's tires here. He's going to go from P20 to P1 in a matter of first turn. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, you know, they changed the race directors, and I'm not sure why this is being allowed. But Honda maybe catching another break here. He's going to have hot tires. Everybody else going to have cold tires. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, Duncan has been known to pay off the FIA, so who knows?
Some breaking news from Ethan Patel. Our league administrator, Duncan, is shady.
Yeah, I would not trust that guy to run a league or anything.
And they're off. It's Buzzgod with a great start. He's by Axelice. He's overtaken him at the start.
It's going to be interesting.
And it's Raz overtaking several drivers, and it's a spin from the Williams. It's Zach Smack. I'm not sure if he was hit or not, but he's down in 20th. Meanwhile, it's Nux getting by, or fending off the position from Roberto. Well, I appear to be ghosted for a minute. Nonetheless, it's Buzzgod in P1, Axelice down to P2, and Raz up 2 places. Kyle Desmond up 3, and Enjoyer up 3 as well.
Marino, a big loser in that, went from P6, I believe, to P9. Siggy and Mercedes and his Mercedes teammate Sargento De Paz both made up 3 positions each through the carnage.
Oh, and Marino nearly spinning, saved it, but it's OG gonna be past him.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. The Alpine driver has struggled. It looked good during qualifying, but the struggle seemed to continue.
Yeah, not the best start from him here. He selected the medium tires in the top 10, and he's falling down the field.
As Kyle Desmond goes through Roberto, who I believe was ghosted at the time, he's having some connection issues. As Marino falls down way down the order.
Absolutely, he spun. He lost it. The tires were hot. Might have picked the wrong setup. I'm not sure. It's Buzzgod in P1. He's already second ahead of Axelized after lap 1. But wow, what a shakeup here. Marino into the pits. Obviously, he had damage. Might have tapped the wall. And so starting on the harder compound tires completely backfires for the Alpine driver.
Yeah, he probably would have been better off going from the softs, because now he has to go onto the hards and then probably back onto the mediums, or I would imagine he does.
Yeah, it's a 2-stop from here for sure, no matter what you do, really. And we're on board with Raz. It's Axelize falling behind from Buzzgod, and Raz right behind him, only 0.6 behind Axelized.
As behind them, Roberto got back in front of Kyle Desmond, who looks to trying to have a go at it.
That is not a classical overtaking position, but Kyle Desmond is going for it. Had to back out of it. Yes, so Roberto was not in the session at the start, but he is now, and he's up to P5. As you've got your first time penalty, it's Nux. We've got a virtual safety car.
Yeah, Tanner DNF at the back of the grid, so it's gonna be his race over. He's gonna be looking back at it, thinking,
And
What he have
Marino,
done differently?
a big sigh of relief from him. It's been a tough start, and it's going to be uphill battle, but this safety car is a huge blessing for him.
Yeah, but it's only a virtual, so he won't help him out too much. But Labib starting in P20 is all the way up to P13, splitting the two Mercedes drivers.
You're right. Made up 7 places. Well done from him. And they're back underway, and it's a drive-through penalty. Oh no. It's a drive-through for Axelize and Roberto, and that is a race killer, folks. You do not want to get a drive-through penalty.
That's an example of those self-inflicted mistakes where he just went a little too fast with the safety car. Now he's to do a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, and so that's going to free up a lot of space there for drivers like Kyle Desmond and Enjoyer down the order, knowing that 2 cars in front of them are going to be cleared away. Here's Enjoyer sniffing the gearbox of Kyle Desmond in the McLaren. Both of these drivers on the soft tires. Enjoyer being held up a little bit here by Kyle Desmond.
Marino has retired.
Oh, did he crash? That's
not how Alpine wants to start the weekend.
Oh, and it's a spin from Enjoyer.
Oh, and Alpine, it just keeps getting worse for them.
Oh, man. He's been saved there by the virtual safety car because Sigi couldn't pass him. And so Enjoyer able to get back up to pace and has an opportunity to rejoin the field. So his mistake might not be punished very much. Very fortunate.
But this is terrible for Alpine, who actually looked to be starting the weekend well with Marino taking that provisional pole early into the session. It's obviously their home Grand Prix. This is not how they want to start this weekend.
Not at all. And it's another drive-through, this time for Thonebone. Meanwhile, Axelize is going to go for a move on Buzzcocks right out of the gates. He had the DRS, and he's got the move done. Of course, he's going to have to come in and serve a drive-through. But, you know, it might feel good to make an overtake on the track here. He better get used to doing that, because if he wants any chance of winning this race, he's going to be doing that a lot more.
Yeah, and when you have a drive-through penalty, your goal is to try to split away from the pack, but that's really hard to do when you have drivers like Buzzcocks and Raz behind you. So he's not going to be able to make much of a difference here. He might dump all his ERS, because you could gain it back in the pit lane, but he's going to be needing to make a huge recovery try.
Yeah, it's going to have to be some heroics here from Ferrari.
Yeah, because those virtual safety cars, they gave him the drive-through, but it also bunched the field a little closer to each other.
Buzzcocks not going for the move, even though he had DRS. Enjoyer sets the fastest lap of the race. Buzzcocks off the track there, but no harm done, other than perhaps a warning. So suffering a little bit in the dirty air. I'm not sure how these tires are feeling. They're 4 laps old for both drivers. But on France, it's going to start to take its toll here pretty soon in a few laps.
Now another driver that needs to make a lot of positions fast is OG. He's Kyle Desmond is about 3 seconds behind the front pack, and OG's about 2 seconds behind him. So he needs to make a lot of time right now to try to catch up to that front running pack if he wants a chance at a podium.
Absolutely. You don't want to get held up and gapped into another section. But that is exactly what's happened. Meanwhile, we have an overtake here. It's Nux. Somehow, I don't... That's really not a place where you typically overtake, but somehow we have seen 2 overtakes there from Division 3. Meanwhile, Raz taking back the position from Nux. Nux not done fighting. They're wheel to wheel, and Nux is spun.
Nux goes around. It'll be interesting to see how the stewards handle that, but that's one more driver out of the front running pack. It's now Axelize, Buzzcocks, and Raz leading the way behind in front of Kyle Desmond and everyone else.
Meanwhile, Zach Smack picks up a 3-second time penalty. Axel sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:34. We imagine the times will come down as the race continues to unfold. Meanwhile, Enjoyer is right behind OG, and oh my goodness. Nearly a collision in the back of the Red Bull.
It's going to be critical for OG to get into the DRS of Barney Goatmere. DRS is really powerful here, especially around Sector 2 and 3.
He's getting closer. It's going to be very close, but oh, and I think he might have gotten it there. He shaved off a ton of time. But no, it does not appear that he... Oh, no, he did get it. He did indeed get it.
Everyone's front wing is open.
Oh, OG riding the curb hard there. You don't really want to do that. But you can tell he's pushing hard. He wants this.
Cushy actually on the hard tires is up into P8 here.
OG very wide there, and we might have an overtake here. We do indeed. It's Enjoyer in the Alpine in front of OG.
It's the Haas of Flosi. I believe he had a moment. So it's just getting bad to worse for Haas here. They're just trying to scrap away with as many drivers as possible to gain as many points as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, Zach Smack being held up by B-Bry in front of Flosi. Some of these drivers are struggling here with the lines. They're all over the track, and that's really causing them problems. Axel Eyes comes in to serve the driver.
Goes all the way down to P11. Not the worst thing. He's going to be looking to follow the Mercedes through on a lot of these drivers to work their way up the field. Speaking of working your way up through the field, it's Siggy. He started in P16, I believe, after his teammate's penalty got applied. It's actually up into P8 right now, so he's actually looking to have a great race.
Yeah, there's definitely some big points on the board available for Mercedes. Both drivers not terribly far off from each other at P8 and P10 there. There's a little ways back from really the second grouping of drivers. The first grouping now being Buzzcocks and Raz by themselves. Kyle Desmond 5 seconds behind Raz. And Enjoyer right on his tail now, looking for the final podium place. Only 3/10 down. Meanwhile, Barney Goatmere around the outside of Enjoyer. He's taking the place.
Yeah, and it's looking like a great day for Aston Martin. And the one driver in McLaren, it's funny because all these...
Oh! He's taking the place back, and he's made a little bit of contact there, maybe.
Raz goes into the pits.
Meanwhile, Labib picks up a 3-second time penalty.
So we talked strategy. Raz went into the pits and he has fit the hard tires on. He's going to try to make the one stop work.
That seems pretty ambitious to me.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Red Bull respond to that. Will they keep their strategy? I don't know what their strategy is, but it could be a one stop. It could also be a two stop. This could play out really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Raz, does that force Buzzcocks to pit with the massive undercut from Raz? He's going to be faster on the hard tires now with 7-lap-old softs. But obviously Buzzcocks might value pace towards the end of the race. Here is Cushy pulling an overtake out on OG there. The soft tire is starting to be worn, and Cushy, these cars are coming to him more and more significantly here. Well, Axel Eyes makes an overtake on Sargento. They pause on soft tires. So he's making those old soft tires work still. And he's up to P7, Axel Eyes.
So a little thing about the strategy between Buzzcocks and Raz, two drivers fighting for the win here. They spend a lot of time practicing together. I believe they're really good friends. They're always in general chat. They could potentially know each other's strategies. I believe they might be on the same one unless Buzzcocks is following Red Bulls and Raz is following Mercedes.
We had an overtake there from Raz on the hard tires. He's setting it a pretty good in-lap. And it is Buzzgot on the hard tires.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. How much of an undercut did Raz get?
This is not the strategy I would have predicted.
Yeah, I would have predicted a two-stopper here, but they're gonna try to make the one-stop work with their hards.
And they're going to come out right next to each other. Raz going to be in the DRS range of Buzzgot. Only 1 lap difference of the age of the tires. The race is on.
Yeah, these hards are just gonna phase into the race. It's gonna take a while, so these drivers are gonna try to be cautious here, push towards the end of the Grand Prix.
Meanwhile, it's Cushy who's inherited the lead of the race. Starting on hard tires seems to be paying off for him. He's built up a little bit of a gap to OG. OG, though, hanging on. Looks like he might come in soon on the 8-lap-old soft tires. Everybody else on a harder compound tire.
This could be interesting for Cushy, whose tires are actually going to phase in, or they should already start phasing in right here. Buzzgot and Raz, their tires are not going to be that great right now. So Cushy could build a gap, and then he's going to be really fast at the end on the soft. So he's a driver to look out for the win.
We are on board with Barney Goatmere. He was following very close to Enjoyer. Not able to stick with it in the dirty air. But he seems like he's got some pace on him in the Aston Martin. Meanwhile, OG does come into the pits. 1 lap after Buzzgot, so I imagine he'll be putting on the hard compound tires as well. No, it's the mediums for OG. And so the Red Bull team has split strategies here.
This could be a fact of driver preference here, or it could be driver style. You know, OG racer, he's going to want the fastest tire to try to make up as many positions. Whereas Buzzgot is that true 1 lap pace, just try to hold the lead for the rest of the race. So he might benefit more in the hard.
Speaking of Buzzgot, we're on board with Raz here, and they're both being held up by Sargento Deposit in front of them. They have fresh hard tires compared to 9-lap-old mediums for Sargento in the Mercedes. Mercedes currently holding the bottom 3 podium places in P2 and P3. But Sargento's going to get past here from Buzzgot.
This is going to be really interesting. Right now, it looks like Cushy could actually have a chance at winning this, because Buzzgot and Raz are just being slowed down by these hards, and Cushys are phasing in better, and he's going to be way faster on the new softs at the end of the Grand Prix.
Absolutely. Ooh, Raz nearly causing some issues there. We do have a yellow flag in Sector 3. It's a Ferrari.
That's Cushy.
And he's made a mistake.
Yeah, that's when you're on the hard tires, you don't want to make mistakes because you're going to be slow, but you want to try to use the advantage of having the durable tire, but making mistakes and just it hurts your race.
Meanwhile, Raz gets by. Well, does he get by Sargento? Yes, he does, because Sargento is in the pits. And so Cushy, he had a nice lead. He was building more and more of a gap to the field, but it's lost now. This Buzzgot sets the fastest lap of the race with a 132.
And Axel is in P15, actually pitted onto the hards. I don't know if we covered that, but see, he's going to be looking to make up positions on people pitting here.
Yeah, absolutely. A host of players who started on medium tires still need to pit.
Yeah, if I was Axel, I might have went for more of an aggressive strategy after that drive-through penalty, setting him back. He's going to want to try to do something different, but I guess Ferrari believes that he has the pace to just outright catch up to them.
Meanwhile, we've got a player off the track. It is Roberto. An unfortunate day for him. He started high up, and he's currently in P18 at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of the top qualifiers are having a bad day. Axelized, obviously Marino, Roberto. Shows that
Enjoyer is on the back of the gearbox of Kyle Desmond. Just a 10 separates the two. About to get some wheel-to-wheel action here. And there's an Aston Martin not very far behind them. They're difficult to follow in this section. It's been for many drivers. The age of the tires are not very different. So you'd imagine that Kyle Desmond and the McLaren on 3-lap-old mediums would be faster, but it seems like the Alpine has some pace. Labib holding up Kyle Desmond. Maybe that's part of the problem. Labib on 10-lap-old mediums.
There is some contact. There was a little bit of contact between Enjoyer and Barney, but I don't think there was any damage. But and Barney was looking to go down the inside of Enjoyer.
Well, he did have an overtake, but it was Kyle Desmond on Labib. And so that's going to put some distance between him and the cars chasing him, which is exactly what he wants. And it's still frustration for the two behind Labib. And these cars are all over the track. Enjoyer having to go on the outside to overtake Labib. He does make the overtake stick.
It'll be interesting to see how long these drivers can make these medium tires last, and if they can make them phase into a one-stop.
Arnie Gomer looking for the cutback there, but it really wasn't available. Labib doing some decent defensive driving, and Gomer having to be a little cautious. He's watching the two drivers he was hanging with fade away into the distance while he's still stuck behind Labib. It's got to be frustrating. As he comes up the inside and around him, the overtake is now finally made, and he can catch back up to Enjoyer and Kyle Desmond.
Raz and Buzzcod fight. Raz has actually lost a second to Buzzcod as Siggy comes into the pits for new harness.
Yeah, so a pretty decent day for Siggy. He's got the chance to finish on a slightly fresher hard tires and go to the end on those. It's got to feel pretty good. If he can keep it out of the wall and keep it out of other cars to have a good finish for Mercedes.
Yeah, Siggy actually in P9, it's going to be interesting to see what OG could do. I believe he's going to have to make another pit stop. Same with Kyle Desmond. I don't think these mediums can go to the end.
Oh, and we have a spinner. It's Enjoyer. We were on board with him. He kept it out of the wall, but a lot of progress has been lost, and I'm sure his tires are not happy with that sequence of events. It's now OG just 6/10 behind him. And Siggy with DRS, not able to overtake OG there, but certainly thought about it.
Yeah, OG and Siggy, old rivals last season, D3 championship rivals. Obviously, Johannes took that championship, but these two have raced a lot against each other. Tremendous amounts of respect there. It's gonna be interesting to see them race.
Siggy is extremely close to OG, clearly being held up by him.
And it's interesting because OG's on these medium tires and Siggy's on these brand new hard tires which have not phased in at all.
Oh, and Siggy is going to go wide there and pick up a time penalty. He's also going to snap around that curb, which you don't really want to do. But he's got DRS again, and he's going to get the move done here because OG does not have DRS. OG's got a couple of cars flying in. It's a Haas of Nux right behind him as well, not going to be able to overtake, but it's Siggy here up to P7. Although he took a time penalty.
So Red Bull chose the aggressive strategy with OG, but that means that he needs to start making up positions. He needs to go fast because he doesn't need to care for these tires. He's going to go on to softs at the end of the race.
Right. Absolutely. And meanwhile, it's Cushy and Buzzcod. They're battling wheel to wheel, and it's Buzzcod going to make the overtake here. Cushy's 13-lap-old hard tires, unable to defend. And now it's Raz looking for the same.
Now, Cushy could benefit heavy from a safety car here. If there's a safety car, he can go onto the mediums and take them to the end. That would basically solidify himself a race win with Buzzcon and Raz on the hard tires. But right now, he's looking like he's going to fall down the order. It's going to be interesting to see where he could make up positions once he hits.
Absolutely. It's been a good drive from Cushy. And he's still got the DRS. He hung on just barely, using all the battery. Raz having to be patient. Meanwhile, Buzzcod's going to pull away this lap. Not what you want from if you're an Aston Martin fan. But it's better than making a mistake and trying to overtake where you shouldn't if you're Raz. Meanwhile, Siggy in the Mercedes is going to get wheel to wheel with OG, and the overtake is done into the turn 1 with the DRS enabled.
Now, Aston Martin having a great day, showing why, obviously in the Mercedes, group of teams, they're showing why they deserve to be on that main team.
But Gus got have a moment. I'm not sure if he had a moment or not, because somehow Cushy still had DRS. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there between Cushy and Raz. They're bumping.
As Barney overtakes Kyle, making an Aston 3-4. And there's a Mercedes. Sargento, he's had a moment. He's all the way down in P13. He's going to have really hot tires, 4-lap load hards. It's just not going great for him.
Yeah, Cushy with some very aggressive defense. And Raz absolutely being held up here. But he's going to have DRS here down the main straight. Surely this is where the move gets done. Cushy did not have DRS. And there it is. It's Ferrari down to P3. And the big question now is, can Raz catch up to BuzzGod, and will that be a race to the end?
Yeah, right now, I mean, looking at the top, we're talking about a double Red Bull podium.
As Raz almost loses it. He seems to have the pace, but not if he makes mistakes like that.
Yeah, he kind of needs to keep it calm. I mean, try to catch up to BuzzGod. But I mean, a 2-3 for Aston Martin, that could be amazing for them.
In fact, this is a disaster because he's lost the DRS, and Cushy's now going to go for the overtake. And he's got the move done. Ferrari back up then to P2. It's only a matter of time before Raz gets him again.
Cushy's red light is flashing. He's recharging his battery down a straight, so shouldn't be too hard of a move for Raz. This is just holding Raz up against BuzzGod, because Cushy's not really in this fight. He's gonna have to box.
Not at all, and so Raz has got to be extremely frustrated. He was within a second before he had Cushy passed, and then he made a mistake, and it's cost him. The net total is going to be something like 3 seconds almost for one little mistake, and that might come back to bite him. It might cost him a win here.
Yeah, but again, I mean, Aston Martin having a stellar day with a potential 2-3 on the books right now. As Raz re-overtakes Cushy. He's going to be looking to try to catch up to BuzzGod here.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, we're down to Nux, who is following Siggy. Siggy, the younger tires, but Nux got the pace, I think, in the Haas. Being held up by Siggy, that's for sure. And Siggy just out of Enjoyer's DRS range, so we're going to see if Nux can overtake on the main straight.
Siggy might be having just a bad weekend in terms of pace. He's still in P7, but his pace just hasn't been there all race. Or all weekend, actually, qualifying as well.
Oh, and Nux is running to the back of Siggy there. She did not anticipate the braking from Siggy.
They've also had a little bit of history racing in leagues together before. They've raced each other a lot, so it's going to be, they do respect each other as well, so hopefully some clean, hard racing here.
Yep, absolutely. The gap to BuzzGod's still about 2 seconds, so nothing's changed out front of significance. Meanwhile, it's OG on the medium tires. Almost going a little wide there. But trying to get through Nux and Siggy. And being held up a little bit here.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. No one's really made the aggressive strategy work. OG and Kyle are the only two, I believe, that are on it. We're going to have to box again. I don't think they've done it properly because the one-stop is just prevailing here.
Yeah, and that's what I imagined would happen. Pit stop just going to take too much time here. You've really got to make up a ton of time, but they still have a fresh set of soft tires to put on, and can you make up a second and a half or 2 seconds a lap on the soft tires? That's really at least what you need to do to make it worthwhile. We'll see. We still have that phase to go for both of those drivers. You're correct, but right now you're correct. I think I agree that it does seem like these hard tires and the one stop is the strategy, preferred strategy at least, of these drivers.
Now, Flosi is, I feel like, the unicorn in this race. He's on 17 lap mode mediums. I think he's trying a one stop with just mediums to softs.
Well, he's almost at a point where he can do that. That would be pretty interesting.
He's literally right on the window. I believe one more lap and he could box. He's gonna feel real good on them softs because 17 lap mode mediums do not feel good at all.
No, I think that's not optimal, but we'll see how fast Flosi can go on the soft tires at the end. Everybody holding station. It's Cushy who pits for soft tires. So
that
not
was
going
expected.
to the end.
They will make it to the end. 8 laps is about where they'll go.
Well,
maybe
I mean,
little
his hard
tire
tires were
preserving
not
at
going.
the
I
end.
think he could have probably gone to the end, but maybe with his hard tires.
No, he started the race on the hard tire.
Well, you're right. You're right. I apologize. So he had to pit.
So he's in P10 now. He's probably going to try for a fastest lap here, gain another point for Ferrari. But again, Ferrari drivers behind the second Red Bull driver with Buzzgod winning the race. That is not great. That just increases the gap in the constructors.
Absolutely. Not what you want to see if you're a Ferrari fan, but it's something you're probably used to by now, unfortunately. And Raz had started to make up some time to Buzzgod, but now it's back to 2 seconds, so holding station is Raz in P2. Meanwhile, Joyner picks up a 3-second time penalty. That might be important. Kyle Desmond has a penalty as well.
Oh, I'm eating right now.
So
My bad.
penalties starting to have a factor here. And the top 3 drivers, of course, penalty free. If one of them gets a penalty, that will make this very interesting.
It's really interesting at the top. I don't think a lot of position changing will happen here. It's going to be a matter of just keeping pace, not making mistakes here, and you're looking at a Buzzgod win and a double Aston podium.
Yeah, I don't think too many of us had a double Aston podium in the predictions. Meanwhile, Kyle Desmond in the McLaren starting to really struggle on these 12-lap old mediums. You can see Siki having to be very patient behind him. He's going to want to get around him pretty quickly on this straight, using the RS already, and he's going to get the move done. Kyle Desmond, no DRS, and so Siki up into P5, looking for some good points for Mercedes.
And speaking of that double Aston podium, I just want to talk about these guys are all 3 in the top podium spots are real good friends in the Discord. They're always chilling out together. Interesting to see all 3 of them on the podium. And Barney Goatmere would love to celebrate his birthday with a D3 podium as a reserve driver.
Oh, a reserve driver and a birthday reserve driver. That's very interesting. Happy birthday, Mr. Goldmere. We hope he finishes well. I'm going to check the time penalties right now just to see what we've got on the board. So, oh man, 8 seconds. Speeding in the pit lane for Kyle Desmond, that is a nightmare as he comes into the pits to take off the medium tires. You don't want to see that if you're a McLaren fan. He had just 3 seconds, along with everybody else pretty much. Zach Smack down there with 17 seconds, doesn't want any more penalties.
Now, Segi, who is in P16, is in P5. He does have a 3-second penalty, but so does the car ahead of him, Enjoyer. So he's going to be looking to make that move for potential P4 finish, which will be amazing for a recovery drive.
Is not out of the question here. It's difficult, but it's not out of the question, is it?
Yeah, I mean, if he overtakes Barney, the difficult part will be trying to build the 3 second gap. But if Barney gets a 3 second penalty, we don't know how many warnings the stewards have given him this race so far, but it could become really interesting at the end for the last podium position.
That's right, it's up for grabs. We'll see who can take advantage. Meanwhile, Raz has got the gap to 1.6 seconds. He's used a lot of battery. Let's check. Buzzcon has also used a lot of battery. So basically the same, and Buzzcon has spun! Right as I get on board, he's
and Raz is inheriting the lead here.
I can't believe it. And now he's going to get a 10-second time penalty for cutting the corner.
Now that will probably be removed, but he still needs to build 3.6 seconds. Raz has to be the happiest man on the planet right now. He just needs to keep this lead, keep a solid gap. 1 second is good. Buzz got on really hot tires now. This is amazing for Raz and the Mercedes team who worked so hard.
I can't believe it. We jump on board with BuzzGod and immediately he's spinning. I don't know if I should apologize or say you're welcome.
Yeah, we were talking about Axelize and his self-inflicted mistakes, but that's a mistake from BuzzGod, and that's shades of his D2 season last season where he was making a lot of mistakes and errors and costed him tremendously in being demoted.
Yeah, he's had a great season, but and ultimately that mistake may not really cost him anything in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But it's not what he
it
wanted.
Kind of just shows that it's still there, right? Like
Absolutely.
But Raz and the Aston Martin team has to be ecstatic right now. But Enjoyer on the back of Barney Goatmere, and we're talking about that podium position for Siggy, right? They've now caught onto the back of Barney and will have DRS.
Indeed. And Siggy with a few laps less of age on his hard tires, can he make that an advantage? I do think it's going to have to be a tall order for Barney to hold off the horde that's coming after him of Siggy, Nux, and Enjoyer. Barney weaving around the track, not really what you want to see, going back and forth like that.
Enjoyer tries to go around the outside.
Enjoyer almost walked through it, but very defensive driving from Barney.
Barney doesn't want to get a penalty here. If he has to, let them, obviously defend, but don't defend too hard where it becomes a penalty because they do have a 3-second time penalty.
Absolutely. A little wobbly there from Enjoyer, and that might give Siggy some ideas here, but they both got DRS, so can Enjoyer get the move done here down the straight? He will go around, and the move is done. So now Barney down to P4, but he's got no time penalty. And he just needs to stick behind Enjoyer as Nux gets Siggy quick. Siggy is in the wall. He's got no wing, and it's a disaster. A great day for Mercedes went into a real tragedy.
Yeah, that was a meteoric comeback drive from Ziggy, but it's all come to an end as he will have to box for a new front wing, dropping him down many positions, all the way down to his teammate in P13.
Oh, absolutely brutal and heartbreaking. You hate to see it.
So I know Toto Rivas is going to be pretty upset at his main Mercedes team, but the Aston Martin team has really showed up today. Buzz got 5 seconds back on Raz. Doesn't look like he'll be catching him anytime soon. As long as Raz keeps it clean, he'll be on for his first win, I believe, of his career here at Zoom recently.
Yeah, that would be absolutely brilliant. If he's able to pull it off, I imagine he is. There's not much between him and the victory now. He really doesn't even need to push, to be honest. But he, as I say that, he picks up a 3-second time penalty.
That's actually critical because Buzzgod's penalty might be removed because it was after his spin, so Raz needs to try to keep a 1.7 second gap, which is hard to do with a driver like Buzzgod behind you.
Well, and we just saw Barney Goatmere being very conservative, not overtaking or trying to go into the overtaking zone with Enjoyer. Could have gone wheel to wheel, but instead decided against it.
Yeah,
And
big
that's
talk of reserve drivers in D3. The last podium spot is currently being held by a reserve driver. With,
we have a wheel to wheel
Barney
action
also.
here between two Ferraris. And it's Cushy who's ahead of Axel Eyes now. Maybe that was telegraphed, I'm not sure.
As Barney actually had a little bit of a moment, which let Nux through. So now Barney needs to just try to keep it clean. Hope they're not going to get their 3-second penalties wiped, and it'll be a double podium for Aston Martin.
Yeah, but he is falling down the order. So we'll see if he can stick with him. He's shown the pace. There's only 3 laps to go, so certainly seems doable.
Especially with DRS. But a bitter day for Ferrari as Nux gets another 3-second penalty, so that's a 6-second penalty. So Barney should be clear of her. Enjoyer is going to be one to watch out for. Most penalties don't get removed, but anything can happen.
That's right, anything can happen. As Siggy makes an overtake here on the Alfa Romeo. Starting another recovery drive with just 2 laps to go, really.
So I thought OG was actually going to be on a 2-stopper here with the mediums and then go to the softs, but I think he's actually trying to run these mediums to the end.
He will indeed. It's not a strategy that's paid huge dividends, but if he can keep the place, which I imagine he will be able to, you know, P8 not the worst result.
As there's a Haas spun around, that's the Haas of Nux who's fighting for a podium.
No longer fighting for a podium. He's gonna be fighting. She's gonna be fighting for P5 here, or maybe even something in the top 8. Because Axel Eyes with no penalties is now right on the gearbox, looking for a move into turn 1, and maybe a little bit of a sportsmanship there as Nux just lets Axel Eyes go.
At 2 drivers with Ferrari powered engines, gonna let the main team go potentially, or just doesn't want to cause the incident, just wants to keep as many points as she can for Haas and herself. So smart driving.
Siggy with a fast lap. It's a 1:31.9. Not a big surprise on the fresh soft tires. But Siggy not going to finish in the top 10, so that point.
Enjoyer has pulled a second on Barney, so Barney's actually not getting any more DRS. He should still be able to keep within the 3 seconds. Should be a podium for him, but it's going to be easier for Enjoyer to pull away.
Oh, this is going to get interesting. Enjoyer has been quicker, I think, today. And without DRS, is Barney going to be able to keep up? I don't know.
Yeah, that timing sheet's looking really interesting. It's spiking a lot, and then it's also dipping. It's all about where they are on track, and it's gonna be interesting at the line, as Barney's actually completely out of ERS.
All right, can Enjoyer pull a 1-second gap on this lap? It's not easy to do, but
Final lap of the race, dump everything you possibly can. Enjoyer does have slightly more ERS. He's gonna need to pull a whole second out, which could be done on the straight potentially with Barney with no ERS.
meanwhile, Nux retakes Axel Eyes for P6, although it's not P6 if Axel Eyes stays without penalties. Meanwhile, the gap between Barney Goatmere and Enjoyer is now 2.4 seconds.
This could go down to the thousandths at the line here. This is going to be really close between them two.
Oh, Barney is struggling on those hard tires.
Barney just needs to keep it together here. He's out of the 1 second.
Oh,
he
and
picks up
there
a
it
3-second
is.
time penalty, and that's killer.
He went wide needlessly there. I mean, he was just going straight. That is really unfortunate.
That is tough. He would have loved the podium for his birthday. He's not gonna get it.
Especially because he's made up some time to Enjoyer. Although Enjoyer may be slowing down after seeing the time penalty pop up on the screen. Nonetheless, great drive from Aston Martin. It's Raz P1 here, taking the win from BuzzGod. And solidifies a great day from him. BuzzGod P2, Enjoyer the final podium place in P3. Wonderfully done from Alpine to get some very solid points.
I don't think France is going to be too happy with a British man coming in and stealing a win here. They would have loved to see Alpine at the top. It wasn't meant to be. They did get a podium, however. What a great race from P3 here.
Absolutely, and it's OG down to P11. So the strategy not really working. But a good effort, I guess. Well, there you have it. It's Aston Martin with a great performance. And driver of day, Enjoyer, not a surprise there.
Yeah, I have to give my driver of the day to Raz, though. He's shown he's had pace sometimes. I think he got pole position in Silverstone, if I'm not mistaken. Nice to get a win. Gonna look to carry the momentum through.
Absolutely. Started P5 on the grid, finished P1. So Siggy does actually finish in P10, so he will get a fastest lap point. That's pretty well done, all things considered. The Ferrari boys, you know, they ended up P5 and P6. It was a roller coaster day for them. Maybe a little bit of disappointment, but still some solid points.
Also, word from the Red Bull garage. We were talking about the interesting strategy choice from OG. He actually got a puncture on the last lap and was just trying to finish ahead of Siggy.
Wow. It's a shame we missed the puncture, but that explains why he fell so far down the standings from P8 and why he lost those 3 positions. Pushing the tires too much. That strategy did not work.
This track is rough on the tires, and that just showed how hard it is.
But overall, very entertaining race. We appreciate you joining us. We're going to have potentially, I think, some podium finishers here. Let's see who's available here.
Try to get Enjoyer in here, but he's reserves. I don't know if he's enough.
Alright, well, no worries. We have BuzzGod available. And so let's pull in BuzzGod in P2. BuzzGod, hello. Very solid drive from you, although I imagine you would have liked to win. You had the win on the cards right as we actually hopped on board with you in the broadcast. It all went wrong. What happened?
My tires were at 60% at that point, and I think I either went onto the throttle too hard or I rode the cab. I think I did a mix of both. I went onto the cab too hard and pressed the throttle, so it spun me out. And then I don't know if I could get it removed, but if the 2 people below me don't get their ticket removed, it doesn't really matter. So I think I'll just leave it. But the 10 seconds, I cut the corner. I don't know. It was all weird. But to be fair to Raz, I think he was faster than me overall. He was losing me once I spun, and he was getting tiny amounts of time when he was behind me. So he may have just got me in the end anyway. So fair play to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ethan.
It's been a great season so far. Every driver has a mistake. Obviously, yours only ended up in a P2, which is really good. So you still keep that gap, and it's a great day for Red Bull.
Yep.
Well, that said, you know, we have a long season still ahead. You know, it's mostly done, but still a decent chunk of the season. You're in P1 in the driver standings. You'll stay there after today. Red Bull still been dominant in the constructors. Any fear from you today that these mistakes might, compound themselves in future races and we start to see Axelized, pulled back within reach?
Yeah, it was scary seeing Axelized. Because he may have been faster than me too, honestly, if he didn't get that drive through, and then that would have resulted in me being in P3 or something. So he can catch up, but the points, like, I'm quite far ahead now, so I think I can chill a little bit more. Like, it's annoying that I lost that P1, but I'm also happy for him because I know he wanted it that bad, and I'm still getting a P2, so, like, it isn't the end of the world.
Well, that's very charitable of you. Congratulations again. A very solid drive from you. Again, always seem to be on the podium. Hands down the best driver in D3, I think. So congratulations again, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Goodbye.
All right, let's see if we can bring in Enjoyer.
Yeah, get an Enjoyer here.
Hello, Enjoyer. Congratulations on the podium. You had a lot of pace out there today. What did you make of the race, and how did you like racing in this league?
It was a good time. I did a little bit worse than I thought I would, but I kind of thought I would get second, but couldn't get it today.
Yeah, definitely on the cards. You're a reserve driver. Was this your first race in D3, I believe?
Yeah, I just joined not too long ago.
Definitely proving that you're D3 material, potentially even D2 material. See how that goes. Obviously, you were in the Alpine car in France. A lot of pressure to get a great drive, and you achieved a really good drive.
Yeah, I was hoping to qualify a little higher, but I couldn't get it today, unfortunately.
Only gets better from here, or it could get worse, but we hope it gets better. Lee Hall, you got anything?
Oh, that's it. I just want to say congratulations on the podium. You may have been shooting for second, but still a great drive from you. You had a lot of pace. We look forward to seeing you hopefully more in this league. Congratulations.
Thank you. Hopefully I'll get to race next week.
All right. We're going to go to the winner of France, Raz. Bringing him in here. Raz, congratulations on a phenomenal drive. You had the pace, and you've got P1. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Honestly, I nearly started crying. Honestly, the emotions actually came to me. It sounds sad as it is, but I'll take it.
How did it feel when you saw Buzz God have a moment and you inherited the lead by about 5 seconds?
Oh, I mean, he's a rookie, so.
Yeah, y'all are always in call. Speaking of someone that's always in call with you, he had a great day today. It was his birthday. I felt like we had to do it. He was on track for a podium. Couldn't quite get it.
Yeah, I mean,
Mr.
honestly,
Goatmere.
Yo. Oh my gosh.
Great
I
day
just want
for-
to,
Go on, go on.
sorry, Ethan. I just want to clear up. Barney fucking, sorry for swearing, but Barney helped me throughout the race, and to be fair, he deserved that podium.
Yeah. Got unlucky with the warnings at the end.
Yeah, we saw that. Saw you get a 3-second time penalty on the last lap of the race.
Yeah.
We just had to keep it clean.
Yeah.
Anyways, that synergy at Aston Martin today had to be incredible. I know y'all guys are always talking to each other. Great
Yeah.
to race with each other and get a 1 and then a 4.
Yeah. Well, I think, since we've driven together a few races, like I've reserved for Aston Martin a few times, I think that's helped quite a lot. And also just being part of the Mercedes junior team, talking to Raz a lot, practicing with him has really helped us. Well, has really brought us here. So
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Well, it was a great day from both of you. A huge day from Aston Martin. Obviously, you guys
Yes,
are
huge.
emotional, proud of yourselves, proud of your performances,
Enormous.
but I want to look to the future.
Gigantic.
Toto, what do you have to say about the future at Aston Martin?
Yes, it's
I
Aston to
have
be a team
so
to get a lot of points here in the rest of the season, Toto.
I have so much to say right now. Raz, first of all, I want to start with you. Super proud of you. I know exactly the emotions you're going through because as a guy who has struggled in sim racing for a very, very long time, a guy that's been I'm old and I'm slow and
Yeah,
like
really
you know
slow.
you guys know like if you've been around here for a while you know the struggles I've been through, and the first time that I knew I was on for a race win, I called my entire family, my wife and my 5 kids in to have them watch over my shoulder.
He literally got a trophy for it.
I literally I couldn't hold it back. I understand what it means to go through the emotions. Like, yeah, we're not in a real car. We get it. This is online racing. Like, it's not real. But what we feel, what we go through, the anger, the frustration, the happiness, the joy, the celebrating with our teammates, that's all real. Like, we go through those real emotions just like the drivers on track do. And so in that moment, I called my family and I'm like, I need you to watch this because it's finally happening. I never thought this would happen. I'm like, I'm fine with being a back marker. And so, Raz, dude, I am so proud of you. I am so happy for you. And I hope that keeps going. And I hope we just see more and more of this. And Barney, happy birthday. I don't know why you're here. This is about Raz. Go away. So, yeah, no, man, I'm so happy. I'm proud of all our Mercedes guys. Like, we've had a rough season in D3. Like, we started out super strong with Siggy getting that first win. And it's been kind of up and down, you know, running through the hills and the valleys. But I believe in my guys at the end of the day. I didn't draft them. You know, I made a lot of jokes during the draft show and whatever. But the reason I picked these guys and the reason I brought these guys onto the Mercedes teams is because I believe in them, because I think they have something to bring to the table. They're not just, you know, some clowns out there to make me laugh or to make y'all laugh. Like, these are good dudes, and these are guys that want to put in the work. And Raz has stepped up in a big way for all of Team Mercedes, not just for Aston Martin and not just for Division 3. Raz is the guy that is constantly on, like, hey, where's the practice? Can we practice? You want to practice? I want to practice. Can we practice? And that practice paid off today. So, Raz, big ups, dude. Awesome job. Super proud of you.
Yeah, that was dedicated to you, Revis.
Attaboy.
A lot of emotions in this interview. Mercedes, bittersweet day. Great day for Aston Martin. Not a great day for the main works team, but congratulations, Raz.
Yeah, cheers, thank you.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you too.
All right. Well, congratulations again to all our drivers in Division 3 for giving us a great and entertaining performance here. This is the Zoom Racing League. Again, this is Lee Hall, joined on my side, Ethan Patel. Thanks for joining us, Ethan. It's been great commentating with you. Any final words for our fans?
Great racing, and if you want to see more, you gotta hit the subscribe button, like the video, and in about 20 minutes time, we'll have D2 live if you want to see a little faster racing, and then tomorrow night, we have the main show at 8 p.m. Eastern, D1 action. Stay tuned.
Absolutely. Please join us, and we'll see you all in the next one.